realize it's about the people that work for our organizations that are going to help all of you continue to be successful going forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I get a chance to drive back and forth. I get a chance to take the tours of and be directly involved in that big, huge facility being constructed down around Ghent, Kentucky, Glendale, Elizabethtown. If you haven't seen it, you should drive by it. You're seeing two big 4 million square foot buildings being constructed. And the day before I came to this meeting a year ago, all they were doing was starting the site preparation. Let me put that in perspective for you. When that manufacturing facility will be completed next year, it will be the 10th largest manufacturing facility in the world, all conceived, constructed, and opened in 18 months. And every time I drive by there, the visual enormity of it allows me to see what the future of Kentucky really is. And yet when I stand here today, let me just tell you, the enormity of MI2 dwarfs the enormity of the Blue Oval Box project, and here's why. That facility is changing an industry. That's moving forward. But there's no more important industry, no more core industry, if you will, to support every other industry in this world than the metals industries. And to come together with the kind of vision that you have laid out over the course of a year, to come together and work together and be saying, we will tackle the challenges of the world for our industry, is profoundly important and profoundly important to the state of Kentucky. You know, there are some 80 metals-related projects that have been announced in Kentucky over the last several years. That represents $4 billion of investment and 4,000 new jobs. That's how important this industry and your innovation and what you're going to do for our state. But think about what you're doing most importantly. You're riding a crest of change in a state that's going to profoundly impact all of your neighbors and all of your neighbors' lives for generations to come. You're guiding that, you're making that happen. And that's profoundly important because, yes, Kentucky is on a roll. Over the last 2 years, we have had the 2 largest years of investments in new companies and new job creation in our Commonwealth's history. But not just as important as having job announcements, it's the kind of announcements that we've had. All those in the metal industry, all those like Matt described, all those like with Logan, all those with Nucor. And yes, those that are happening to create transformation in the EV sector side of this state. Huge change, huge opportunities, and you all are at the very center of it. Some 250 metals-related companies operate in the state of Kentucky. That's 36,000 employees in our state, in a state known to be a manufacturing state, a state that's reliant and proudly so on manufacturing. And again, the foundation of it, the very core of it, is indeed the metals industry. So I want to just simply close by telling you, it's not easy. The road ahead of you is going to be challenging. But the payback and the opportunities will be 5 or 10x the benefits of the work and the toil that you all will undertake necessary to look at recycling, to look at the changes in the workforce that we all need. But just understand, we believe in partnerships and collaboration. We believe very strongly that all of us have to work together to make your successes our successes, and you have our pledge and you have Governor Beshear's pledge that we will indeed make that happen. Look, folks, the innovation, the process for innovation, it's hard. But you got to have it, you got to do it, and lives and people's families and people's futures depend upon all of you in terms of making that happen. You know, the connections of multidisciplinary actions that all sit within your organizations coming together to collaborate, that's critically important because all of you have a certain level of expertise that you've created over 200 years or 300 years. And sharing that and understanding how and why to share that only helps all of you grow, and it only helps really, truly make your industries the kinds of global leaders that you are, continue to be that, and with that along the way, Kentucky will benefit. We are facing challenges across the country. Yes, we know workforce is a challenge, but we've got the greatest minds and the smartest people in this room in one of the most important industries that anybody can work for, and you should be proud of that, and you should embrace the opportunities that are to come forward with it. This is a story that needs to be told. What you all are doing can't just stay right here in this Marriott. We need to proudly proclaim everything that is being done, and David and his team and our cabinet worked with all of you to put together the information that is on your table. It's a sneak peek. It's a new process. But look at it. Give us feedback. Become part of the movement beyond just what MI2 is doing. Become part of the movement that we can proudly proclaim that if you're in the metals industry, if you're in the aluminum, stainless steel, you name it, you're in the greatest industry in the world, and you're doing some of the greatest things that this country can ever afford to have. It's important, it's critical, and we thank you all for doing what you do. I just want to tell you personally, I'm always amazed when I get to be in the presence of all of your leaders here, because I know how passionate you are about making things happen. When I've gotten to visit your facilities and tour the plants, I get excited about it. I got to visit with Chris and his team years and years and years ago when I was in this job in Spain to help bring North American Stainless to Carrollton. And I will tell you, it was an exciting opportunity for me to walk that facility and see just how big it is. And then to walk down the street to Nucor and tour that facility and see how big it is and how important it is. Wow. All right here in Kentucky. All right here under your all's tutelage to make things happen. So if you're not from Kentucky, you ought to be. And if you're not from Kentucky, though, I ask you to come back, because this is actually the first conference of what I know will be many in which we show what the spirit and the power of collaboration can truly be. This is the kind of organization that I'd love to see created for our top 2 or 3 core industries across the state. Because for me, that's the kind of existing business initiatives that we as a state ought to be supporting. And we've been very proud to financially support this organization. And I wish I had invested in other things that are providing the kind of payback that investment is through the MI2 initiative. So with that, again, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for everything that you're doing. I wish you the very best of this conference. Know that we fully support you. This time next year, I'll be glad to share with you who's taking Daniel Craig's role in MI6, because it's a really important thing for the future of the world. We'll congratulate Matt again, but I'll be glad to share that with you. I'm also, under protocol, can finally share who Moneypenny is in terms of who's now working for MI2. And as Christopher would say to all of you, let's come back next year and let's enjoy our fellowship and our time together. Let's solve the world's problems. Let's make our industry better. And just always remember, shaken, not stirred is the way he likes it. So thank you all very, very much.